the name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to be covering this Saturday's HBO Boxing After Dark, which in the main event you have David Lemieux versus Gabriel Rosado in a 154 fight. You also have Hugo Centeno and James De La Rosa in a 154 fight. Then you've got Hank Lundy and Thomas Delorme in a 140 fight. I believe that one's going to be opening up the card, so that's the one we're going to start out with. Lundy and Delorme. Take it away, Rob.
Okay, so this is a good fight. This will determine who's going to take that next step, and will probably get a title shot in their next fight. Delorme is out of Puerto Rico. And he's been a very good prospect, but when he did take a step up in competition for like the first time, he got knocked out, and I cannot think of who he got knocked out by.
It was somebody who just fought.
But it was at 140, either 140 or 147. This fight is at 140. He's the box.
Abregu, was it?
It was Abregu.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Luis Carlos Abregu. And just to let you know how good that guy is, his only loss was to Timothy Bradley at the moment.
Yeah, until he met Saddam Ali.
Yeah. But that doesn't discount how good he was at the time that he knocked out Delorme.
Right.
And
No,
again,
I'm just saying he's really good.
Yeah, and that was at 147, which might have been a little bit bigger than Delorme was used to.
Yeah.
So he dropped back down. He beat Kareem Mayfield, and now he's taking on another. Kareem Mayfield is a good puncher,
he was a prospect, yeah.
but he's not impressive. Yeah. But he's fighting a guy, Hank Lundy, who took the hard way up. He took some early losses, some ugly losses, but he's been trying to stay active, stay busy against whoever was willing to fight. I think he's taken a lot of fights on like a month notice or shorter in like Mexico or just different places, and he started to found his rhythm. He found his groove. So this would be a good fight. He has power in both hands. He is hammering Hank Lundy. But he's going to be fighting a guy who I think is the superior boxer in Thomas Delorme. The only thing is Delorme is going to have to sustain the fight over 10 rounds, which he does have a suspect chin. And for a guy like Lundy, if you cannot take him out within the first few rounds, you are in for a long night. And if he touches Delorme, you're going to see he's going to see some stars.
Yeah.
He's going to be wobbled.
Now, Lundy doesn't have a lot of knockouts, but you can tell people are affected when he hits them by their reactions. So I'm thinking if it's to end early, it'll be because Delorme catches him. If it ends late, it'll be accumulation of Lundy's blows. But I'm thinking it's going to go to distance, and Lundy's going to pull out a close decision.
And Delorme trains out of Robert Garcia's gym right now, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure where he trains from. But I do know that Lundy is in D.C. with Barry Hunter and the Headbangers.
Yeah. So
they do. So if those are the two coaches, those are two very good coaches who can give a great game plan, see things that they need to adjust to on the fly. So look for some great corner advice from both guys and see who can implement those game plans and adjust the best. Right now I am going with Lundy by like a close decision.
Yeah, if he can get to Delorme, it's going to go to Lundy. But Thomas Delorme has shown that he can outbox any kind of come forward fighter. Even in Mayfield, who had the physical disadvantages, in my opinion, he was much shorter arms. Lundy doesn't have quite those disadvantages, so we will see.
Yeah. So the second fight of the night is James De La Rosa, who is coming off kind of a coming out party and hopefully retiring Alfredo Angulo, against Hugo Centeno Jr., who is a prospect on the come up. I'm thinking this fight is kind of like it's a step up for Centeno.
Since his loss to Julian,
That was actually like a no decision. Or
no,
something like
that was a loss. He quit.
that. But they're trying to set him up for big things, and I think they're giving De La Rosa another shot because he performed so well. But I think they're bringing him in to lose.
Yeah, but De La Rosa probably can take this fight to Centeno, but he is not fighting Alfredo Angulo. Alfredo Angulo was a shell of himself. Had that fight happen a few years ago, it might have been a different fight.
Yeah.
Centeno is much fresher, much younger, and I believe he has a fairly long reach and height advantage over De La Rosa. So, and he is the prospect. He's the one that they're pushing. So I see Centeno winning, but it's going to be, I feel like it can be hard fought. I don't think De La Rosa is that hard of a puncher either.
Yeah, he laid leather on Angulo all night, and I don't think he ever hurt him. It was just that he wasn't blocking anything either. Like we all know, Angulo has a little bit of head movement, but most of the time he blocks punches with his face and just kind of walks you down. But he just couldn't get to De La Rosa in time in that fight, and he just took a really bad beating, like one of those prolonged beatings. Like you prefer to just get knocked out, but you just keep getting hit in the head over and over and over again, and 20 years later you can't talk. That's unfortunately the kind of beating he took, and the beating that De La Rosa handed out to Angulo. So I hope that he's okay. But let's talk about this fight.
Yeah, so if Centeno wins this fight, this should lead him to some more top 15 fighters. I don't want to say top 10 because that 154 is so freaking stacked.
Yeah. Like I've said in many videos before, if it has welterweight in the name, there's a ton of people there that you can fight. And this should be the start of his ascension into the players of the division. There's already a ton of them, and there are going to be a lot more coming in the future. So if he wants to get in there, he needs to strike while the iron's hot and take advantage of every opportunity he has, and this is one of them.
But just to let you know, think of the names. You got Canelo, who may be on his way to middleweight. You got Trout, Ishe Smith, who was fighting
Lara,
Arizona's Lara, Kirkland, Martirosyan, the Charlo twins, Andrade, even K9.
He's got a belt and a name.
Yeah, the list goes on. You got Julian J. Williams. The names go on, and that should have been around 8, 9, or 10, just right there. So
not to mention the main event, where you got Rosado and Lemieux.
That's a 160.
That's at 160.
That's a.
I thought it was a. Oh.
No, Lemieux is a
Never
160.
mind.
Yeah, he's 168 pounds. But Rosado can fight at 154 if he wants to.
Yeah, because I remember he fought Charlo at 154. That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's at middleweight.
But just to let you know, you should start fighting those guys at 150 in the top 15 or top 20. I'm not sure where De La Rosa is ranked at right now. But you understand.
Sure he is.
You understand where we're going with this. He's going to have, if he wins this fight, he's going to have some extremely tough fights ahead.
Yeah.
Especially if they plan on keeping him on HBO.
Yeah. Let's move on to the main event where we got Gabe Rosado and David Lemieux, and a matchup of two guys who are pretty heavy hitters. Lemieux definitely is a heavy hitter. He's big, really big in Canada. I think this is at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But he's played to a lot of Canadian cards until he was knocked out by who knocked him out.
That was, oh God, I know exactly. It's on the tip of my tongue. You'll probably see it in the. I'll put up there.
Yeah, like a little subtitle right here. I'm like looking right at the guy's face, and I cannot think of his name right now. Oh, New Baby Fatigue. I'm sorry. Yeah, like I said, I'll put it down here. But he's on the comeback, And it's been for a few years because that was maybe 2-3 years ago when it happened. So he's back on major network TV against someone who they think he's going to look good against in Rosado. We saw Rosado against Golovkin, the Charlo brother, one of the Charlo brothers. He just knocked out Brian Vera in that big knockouts boxing thingy, whatever that was. But they're thinking he's good enough to test him. He also fought Peter Quillen.
That's right.
He's good enough to test you, just not good enough to win. He fought Jalen Love.
Golovkin.
Yeah, I said Golovkin. Yeah, he's fought a big list of people, and like we said, with the exception of Brian Vera, he's come up short each time. So that's the motive behind booking this fight. Someone that'll make Lemieux look good, but also make him work, because Rosado is a grinder. He's gonna be in your face the entire time, and he can survive somewhat.
Now,
but
his biggest issues have been against boxers. I mean, let's look at Quillen, who was winning the fight, and then you can start to slowly see how Rosado was getting to him. Golovkin is Golovkin, who is a great boxer. I
don't think he was in that fight for 1 second.
Yeah, he just has center blocks for hands. Charlo, who is the boxer. So you see the real losses. His early loss, I can't remember who he has, but his most recent ones have been the guys with superior boxing ability.
And a lot of people thought he beat Jalen Love.
Exactly. So and that was turned to a no contest for him.
Yeah, because Jalen Love had like a diuretic or something like that.
Right. So now we're looking at a guy in Lemieux who is not a superior boxer, but he does have dynamite in both hands.
Yep. So don't expect this fight to go the distance.
If it does, well, Rosado should be bleeding anyway by the end of the fight. But both of them will be bleeding pretty bad.
Yeah. Blood and guts, you like it, you need to watch this fight.
You want this for the main event.
Yes. These guys are, defense, not much. Not much at all. So they're going to be throwing punches. They're going to be throwing hard punches. And they're going to be trying to get each other out of there. And you will be entertained. A lot. I want to go with Lemieux. I want to say he's learned from his past mistakes and has sharpened himself up enough to get past Rosado. Like I said, Rosado is one of those guys that if you are at the top level, you should beat him. And I'm thinking Lemieux is. Not top level, but he's good enough to beat Rosado.
And he's going to have to do it. If he knocks him out, it's going to be late because it's going to be accumulation of those punches. But remember, Rosado has probably gone through worse.
Yeah, dude does have a chance. The only reason they stopped the Golovkin fight was because he was bleeding too bad. He ate some bombs from Golovkin. So let's see what happens. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching this episode. Hope you like it. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. Comment below if you have anything that you want to say. Hit us up on our Facebook page, Capital Combat. You can hit us up on our Google+, same name. Email, capitalcombat@gmail.com. Either way you want to contact us, you can. If you got a question, hit us up in the email, Facebook page, Google, anywhere. Just hit us up. You can be added into the Combat Mailbag. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.